going to talk about subtraction. One of the biggest problems kids have with subtraction comes when they have to regroup. And so really we're going to start right there with the regrouping part, and then we'll get into some practice with the subtraction itself. You can never take away a bigger number than what you have. You can never subtract 9 if you only have 6. It's just impossible to do. You can't do that. If I only have 6 things, I can't give you 9. So a lot of times in subtraction we need to regroup, or we need to do what we call borrowing and regrouping. What I want to do is I want to show you, using the hundreds, tens, and ones, about regrouping, but I want it instead for you to think of dollars, dimes, and pennies instead of hundreds, tens, and ones. Imagine if you had $6, 5 dimes, and 3 pennies. Okay, $6.53, but you have $6, 5 dimes, 3 pennies. And you need to give me 18 cents. You owed me 18 cents, and I'm really mad because I want my 18 cents. In order for you to give me the pennies, you'd have to do some regrouping. You can't give me 8 pennies if you only have 3. There's got to be some regrouping that goes on. Okay? You would have to take one of your dimes, you have 5 of them, and you'd have to change that dime, the one that you take, you'd have to change it into pennies. So if we kind of do this in slow motion, we take one of the... I'm only kidding. We take one of the dimes, okay, we had 5, and now that's going to leave us with 4. So we take that one dime. We trade it in for 10 pennies. Now we're going to take those 10 pennies and we're going to put it with the 3 we already have. So now instead of 3, we're going to have 3 plus 10, which is 13. Okay? In order for this to get bigger, that had to get smaller. And that's the key to subtraction with borrowing. You always have to remember you can change 2 places at a time. One gets smaller, one gets larger. That's all you can do. One of the other problems kids get into is when they start a subtraction problem, they just go, oh, it has borrowing. Wham, 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 wham. And they change every number without looking to see if they need to or not. You have to look, you have to think, and then you have to go in an orderly process. Change 2 numbers at a time. First one's smaller, so the next one can get bigger. No magic numbers. No poof, it's 3 to 13, and it somehow got bigger. It can't get bigger till you borrow. So, we borrowed, it's a 4. This gets larger, and now it's 13. Now you could subtract. Now you could give me the 8 pennies. Okay? So, you have to take your time. You have to understand that anytime you borrow from somewhere, any 2 places that are next to one another, the place on the left is always 10 times bigger than the place on the right. So you're going to take 1 from there, but it's 10 of the one on the right. Let's take a look at some sample problems here. Let's do A and B together right now. Okay? Starting in the ones place here, I have a 4 and I need to take away a 9. Well, I can't do that. 9 is bigger than 4. There's no way to take 9 from 4. So we have to borrow. And I have to borrow from the place next to that 4. In this case, it's the tens place, and there's a 6 there. I'm going to take one of those 10s away. So if there were 6, the first place gets smaller. The 6 is going to become a 5. There will be 5 left. And the next place gets larger. I'm going to take one of those 10s, now it's 10, and I'm adding it to the 4. 10 and 4 makes 14. Now I can subtract. Don't worry about the rest of the problem. Finish the ones place. Finish the ones place, then do the rest of the problem. 14 minus 9 is 5. Now we're going to move to the tens place, and I have a 5. And I want to subtract 2. 5 is bigger than 2, so let's go ahead and do that. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 3 minus 1, 3 is bigger. 2, and we get 235 for our answer. If we wanted to check it, we could do addition of these 2 numbers and see if we get the number we began with. Let's go to letter B. Again, we're going to start in the ones place. I have 7, and I need to take 9. I can't take 9 from 7. I have to go to the next place over and see if I can borrow. In this case, I can. There's a 3 there. I'm going to take one of those from the 3. If I take one away, how many are left? 2. Now, I'm going to bring 10 over to the 7. So now it's 7 plus 10 more, 17. And now I can subtract in the ones place. Again, don't worry about what's over here this way. Just do the ones place. 17 minus 9 is 8. And now I go to the tens place and I start all over again. 2 minus 3. I can't do that. 3 is bigger than 2. So I'm going to go to the next place and borrow. I have 5. This place will get smaller so the 2 can get bigger. 5 is, I'm going to borrow from it. There will be 4 left. I'm going to take that 1, change it to 10, bring it over to the 2, and I'm going to make 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now in the hundreds place, 4 minus 6, again I can't do it, but that's okay. I'm going to borrow again. Remember, first place gets smaller, so the next place gets larger. I'm going to come to the 4. I'm going to borrow here. That's going to be a 3. This 4 is going to get larger by 10. 4 plus 10 is 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. And I get 1,898 for my answer. Again, to check, I can add these two numbers, see if I get the number that I began with. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video and try letters C and D. Remember, if you need to borrow, you're only going to change 2 places. The first place will get smaller, so the next place can get bigger by 10. Go ahead and pause the video and give them a shot. Go ahead and try it. I'll wait. So how do you think you did? Let's take a look at letter C. In the ones place, we have 4 minus 1. Can we do that? Sure we can. 4 minus 1 is 3. In the tens place, we have 5 minus 7. 7 is bigger than 5, and we can't do that. So now we're going to have to go ahead and borrow. Remember, first place will get smaller, so the next place will get larger. We're going to borrow from the 8. It's going to now be 7. So 8 gets smaller by 1. It's 7. And we're going to add 10 now to the 5. 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 7 minus 8 we can't do because 8 is bigger than 7. So we're in a borrowing situation again. We're going to borrow here. That gets smaller. So the 7 can get larger. It's going to be 17. 17 minus 8 is 9, and 5 minus 5 is 0, and we don't start numbers with a 0. So our answer would be 983. Did you get it? I know you did. Let's take a look at letter D. In the ones place, we have 6 minus 5. Do we need to borrow? No. That's 1. So we move to the tens place. 3 minus 2. Do we need to borrow? No. That's 1. Hundreds place. 4 minus 4. Do we need to borrow? No. That's 0. So you're going to run into trouble. If you crossed all those out and you started to borrow, you know you were struggling there. We didn't need to borrow in any of those cases. You do just one place at a time. Thousands place. We have a 4 and a 7. Do we need to borrow there? Yes. 4 is smaller than 7. We're going to need to borrow. Remember, first place gets smaller. That 2 is a 1, so the next place can get larger. The 4 is 14. Now you can subtract. 14 minus 7 is 7. 1 minus 0 is 1. And you get 17,011. The key to subtraction, go slow and do one place at a time. Start in that ones place, finish the ones place, move on to the tens place. If you need to borrow, change 2 places at a time. The first place will get smaller, so the next place can get larger. Okay? I know you can do it. Work hard, pay attention, and I'll see you next time.